Well, I love having my next guest on. He's a ball of American spirit. In fact, he's like a meteor barreling towards Earth at breakneck speed. Let's get right to the one, the only, Ted Nugent. And hey, welcome, Ted. Welcome, Mr. Ted. This is huge. We're bringing it on because Turning Point USA is putting on an All-American halftime show to counter Bad Bunny's performance at the NFL halftime show. Tell us a little bit about that. There it is, right there, Kid Rock. Ted Nugent, Travis Tritt, Jason Aldean, look at the John Rich, Lee Greenwood, amongst others. Really exciting stuff, Ted.
Well, I got to tell you, dream on. They wish that this was the halftime entertainment because this is real all-American, hell-raising soul music. Everybody on there. But the horrible thing about it, like everything on the internet and the galactic insanity, none of that is true. It's not going to happen. God knows the world would be better if it did. But I understand TPUSA, they're putting on an alternative one to the Bunny goofball. And again, the NFL, I've never seen an NFL game in my life, and I'm not about to start now. But ultimately, let me put it this way, Eric. Here it is, October 2025, and everything is insane, but I can cleanse my soul every day with the mystical flight of the arrow. You've got to prioritize. Would that be a great halftime show or what?
I think this would be the better halftime show. I can't wait to find out how many viewers you guys draw away from the NFL. Bad Bunny, by the way, I just literally watched Bad Bunny. Look, don't get me wrong. I really don't care who they put up at halftime. But Ted, I used to love some of the, when there was rock and roll halftimes, those were fantastic. I really don't care who they put up. They got their marketing ideas, the NFL does. Now they're going after Hispanic audiences. Okay, great. Knock yourself out. My problem is Bad Bunny is not a good American. My problem is Bad Bunny went to a WNBA game. The finals were last week. He went to a WNBA game and stayed seated during the national anthem when everyone in the crowd was standing up. And that pisses me off.
Well, and those are the kinds of anecdotal evidence that one needs to review to make such decisions, and that the NFL can't make that truth, logic, common sense, decent decision is a vote against those guys. But once again, Eric, it's October. I got all my friends, my sons, my daughters, they all love to go to sporting events. I'm not a spectator. I don't spectate. I do stuff. This is the greatest hunting season of my life. I'm doing these unbelievable Detroit Motor City rock and roll soul music gigs around the country called Uncle Ted's Speakeasies. And that way I can be home every night with Charmaine and my dogs. What's more important than that? So God bless the NFL. People that love to watch those sports. I hope they have a good time. And I don't know anything about this Bunny dude, but I don't really care. I have priorities, and that ain't one of them.
You crack me up, Mr. Ted Nugent. So how does this work? How much time, do you know how much time you're going to have on stage? And you think about you got to play Stranglehold. You got to go Stranglehold. I think you have to play probably Stormtrooping, Wango Tango. What do you think?
Well, everybody on that list wants to play Stranglehold, I promise you.
That's right.
Kid Rock, he plays Cat Scratch Fever every night. Hank Jr. plays Cat Scratch Fever every night. The great Toby Keith played Stranglehold every night because everybody needs real soul music at least once per performance. So, I'm ready to play all my songs. I love my music. I love my music more than anybody loves my music. Jason Hartless on drums, Johnny Big on bass guitar. It's out of body, soulful, just so intense, so irreverent, so defiant, so groove, so Motown, so James Brown. So it doesn't matter what songs I play, where I play them, they all have a life of their own.
Wang, dang, sweet, Poontang.
It's a love song. I'm the master of love songs.
You are, and I know that. And we talked about this, Cat Scratch Fever, the kitty next door, the lady next door had a cat, and you'd like to play with the kitty, I understand. So we drum up some video of back in the day, Ted Nugent back in the day. Remember, I grew up watching Ted Nugent. We're going to play a little bit of this, Ted. Tell us about this concert, and Ted's going to come in swinging on a vine in a second. Here he is. Tell us a little about what that concert was all about. Do you remember it?
Well, what that concert was all about is going crazy and absolutely letting it rip. When in doubt, I whip it out. Nobody's had more fun with their career, no matter what that career might be, especially in music. Why not a loincloth? I'm the only guitar player that shoots his own stage clothes. I literally could shoot my stage clothes, and then down the road we can barbecue them. The point is that my band is so killer. My musicians at my side are such killers, and the audience knows that there might be a flaming arrow or a loincloth or coming out. I rode a buffalo on stage, a live South Dakota bull bison between my legs. A lot of people didn't understand that, but it's all about letting it rip.
Yeah.
When you're going to play rock and roll, we consider every concert an audition to be James Brown's band. My musicians are so gifted, so dedicated. They have indefatigable Herculean work ethic, and they love rhythm and blues, soul music, James Brown, Wilson Pickett, Little Richard, my hero. So every night is the most important concert of our lives, and I've done 7,007 of them, and I can't wait for 7,008.
So soul music, that's where your genesis is, that's where your true north is, that's where you get your inspiration from the soul, back in the day, soul artists. Elvis famously said he grew up listening to gospel music. Gospel taught him how to sing. Gospel taught him how to write lyrics. And for you, it's more soulful music. And your music is just intertwined with the DNA of your music is from that soul patch. So tell us about it.
Well, Eric, I was born in Detroit, 1948. Les Paul had just electrified the guitar from a background instrument to the driving force of the best songs in the world. Little Richard showed us to do what with his left hand, I think it was his left hand, playing the bass parts on the piano, and Chuck Berry and Bo Diddley and Dwayne Eddy and Lonnie Mack. These guys were milking frequencies and tones out of the guitars and amplifiers that were brand new, and being in the shadow of Motown with those mystical, miraculous grooves, the Funk Brothers, and listening to James Brown and his band and all these great soulful artists, even though it's a semi-Caucasian version of an uppity soulful gospel blues song. But remember, the black artists finally threw off the shackles of the worst curse of mankind of slavery and racism. They really did throw it off when I was born. It slowly took place. And so that music was so emotional. It was so authoritative, so powerful, so infectious. So every rock and roll song you like was inspired by the Motown Funk Brothers, Little Richard, Chuck Berry, Bo Diddley, James Brown, Wilson Pickett, Sam and Dave, all these masters of coming out of the cotton fields and just letting it rip. Such defiant, irreverent, soulful, authoritative music. And in 2025, that's still the inspiration for the best bands out there. Night Ranger and Styx and Mark Farner. These guys are still out there playing all these years later. Ted Nugent still playing rock and roll concerts because of that emotional, soulful, authoritative black influence. Know it.
You know, so you're the front man, right? Ted Nugent, you're front man for Ted Nugent. Some of the other, the Rolling Stones, Mick Jagger, I'm thinking Aerosmith, Steven Tyler, also have this real ballady, soulful, I guess, DNA running through their musical blood as well. Do you talk to any of those folks anymore? Did you ever?
I do. I have a great connection with Sammy Hagar, with Mark Farner, the Grand Funk Railroad, one of the most talented, soulful artists in the history of the world. My damn Yankees buddies, Tommy Shaw and Styx, Jack Blades over in Japan with Night Ranger right now. I keep in touch with Sammy Hagar all the time. I talk to Ricky Medlock from Leonard Skynyrd. These are people who can still form syllables and have a reasonable conversation. And I'm echoing their core musical inspirational beliefs right now. Every word out of my mouth is the same inspiration for everybody from Billy Joel to Steven Tyler to Sammy Hagar to Mark Farner. All these unbelievable soulful artists, they all came from that defiant, unprecedented black musical authority. We all want to be as tight as James Brown, have the cadence and lyricism and storytelling of Chuck Berry and Little Richard. I mean, stop and think of the lyrics back then. That's where I get Wang Dang Sweet Poontang. In fact, there was a blues song by, I think it was Howlin' Wolf, called Wang Dang Doodle. What do you think that might have been about? So there's a lot of inspiration out there that is that coexists in all the musical genres. But when you really play with heart and soul, it's got black influence.
You know, I grew up watching you, Ted. I grew up listening to The Who, and I think my first concert ever was The Who in Chicago Stadium. Absolutely amazing. I saw The Who, a couple of clips on Instagram of The Who in Seattle in September, a couple of weeks ago. And wow, they brought it. Like, unfortunately, Entwistle is dead and Moon is dead. two of the major members of the band, but Pete Townsend's still there. Daltrey couldn't hit the high note anymore, but it was such a great performance. It's everlasting. Can you hit the high note, Ted? Do you still have the high note in you or no?
You know, if I play Wango Tango, which is the greatest white guy's attempt at Little Richard, I'm the only white guy that ever got close to Little Richard. If even Paul McCartney on I'm Down. But anyhow, yeah, I can still hit those high notes because I'm a man that is influenced by the greatest philosopher of all times, Dirty Harry, when he said a good man knows his limitations. So if I start out with the high screaming songs like Sammy Hagar does every song, then I can hit those high notes. But again, I'm 77 this year. This is outrageous. Yeah. And this is my hunting beard, so I look older than I really feel. But the music is so inspiring. I'm telling you, Eric, when we hit the stage every night, it's out of body. It's like a martial arts, like a Bruce Lee musicianship thing. It literally takes over your entire being if you really believe in the music. And what you're talking about, The Who in 2025, Roger and Pete, they still believe in the music. Mm-hmm. They're so proud of those musical statements. So when we get up on stage, it's literally the mountaintop of the human experience. It's like being the greatest welder in the world, which is more important than music. The greatest welder in the world, his welds will last forever. Mm-hmm. What a great testament to work ethic and dreams.
It was real. It was inspiring seeing a lot of young people, new young drummer, new young keyboards, and a violinist who came out, and this young lady, and she just crushed the violin in that song. Ted, Spirit of the Wild on the Pursuit channel. You have your own show here. Tell us very quickly where we can find Ted.
Well, I believe in conservation. Like right now, take a look at my effervescent masculinity. I'm high on nature again today, not just during the hunting season, but Charmaine and I produced Spirit of the Wild TV on the Pursuit channel for 36 years, over 650 episodes, celebrating God's healing powers of nature when you're a hands-on conservation participant. And it will keep you bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and cleanse your soul. And that's why it's the #1 hunting show in the history of conservation television. We're very proud of that. I think it's Charmaine's Queen of the Forest that does it. That's really where all this power comes from.
There you go. There you go. Always great having you on, Ted. Real proud to have you as a friend and also as a colleague. Ted Nugent, everybody. Thank you, brother.
Godspeed, Eric. God bless America.
And you too. We'll be back 2.5 minutes.